Welcome back to the Rob and Savage podcast. I got a special guest today. Look, I've been butchering her name all day, so excuse me. Saaneah.
Yes, you said it in the Nashville way,
I
but
did.
it's Saaneah.
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 Here we go. Here we go. Glad to have you on there.
I'm happy to finally be here.
Yeah, I've been following you ever since we met each other a little while ago. We dive into how that happened. Man, I'm glad to have you on the podcast, man. Let's dive into your story.
Wow, it's pretty beautiful.
Okay, well,
Intense.
I believe it, man. So let's dive into this, man. So North Nashville.
North Nashville, North Side to the down.
Oh man. So okay, grew up in North Nashville. Man. Explain about that. Let the audience know about North Nashville, especially the '90s and 2000s growing up in there.
Yeah, North. I mean, it was cultural. You know, we got Halley Park.
Mm-hmm.
North Nashville is the only space where there's not one, not two, but three HBCUs at one time on one street. That is the Jefferson Street.
Right.
And Jefferson Street encompasses what Music City is. Jefferson Street is the root of Music City. So it's just like to have a space that you grew up where music thrived.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in a time period where music was the outlet for serenity. Because during segregation times and all that, like, all people had was music to lean on to dance, the juke joints and things like that. And so, you know, I feel like North Nashville has a majestic nature that really groomed and breeded a beautiful group of Black people. And I'm one of them.
Hey. That's confidence right there. That's confidence. But it's real though. That's real.
No, for real.
You know, like I said off air, you know, I grew up in Northeast Nashville. I'm still saying it's really East Nashville, but north in there, in the whole Chesapeake Parkwood area.
Yeah.
But I'm very familiar with all that because, of course, going to Whites Creek, most of my classmates are from North Nashville. The whole Bordeaux /
Bottle.
Right, Haynes Manor, you know, Trinity Hills, all that mixed in where I grew up. So okay, so you from North Nashville. Where did the singing practice come from? What did you say? You know what? I'm a singer. I love singing. How did this come about?
Well, I actually started on a fireplace with a toilet paper roll.
Okay.
And I was at my Granny Sue's house at the time. She told me about this. I didn't even know about this until recently, but she would say that I would try to sing on this area, which was a fireplace with a toilet paper roll. So I was like, okay, but once I discovered it, it was from a Martin episode.
I love it. Okay.
And you remember, you know, Pam.
Yeah. That was my favorite person on the show.
You know what I mean? She just had pizzazz, and she also was fierce with it. She wasn't gonna take no stuff.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So I was watching it one day at my great grandmother's house, Bob, and she started singing Silent Night. And I heard Silent Night, and the way she sung it during this Christmas episode, everybody was enchanted.
Right.
Martin Lawrence, Gina, everybody was just watching her. It was Christmas.
Was you already privy that she was a singer before this?
No.
Like with the whole Little House of Horror with Gina? You know,
no.
it was real singing.
I hadn't even watched that yet.
Still?
I hadn't watched it. I was just sitting in front of the TV, and I was like, oh my gosh. And she was just, and it was gospel. It wasn't like Silent Night. It was just like Silent Night. You know, it was it was something that really touched the soul. And I was like, man, I want to do that. And I just tried it. And it sounded good.
That's good.
And then from that point on, like, I attempted to mimic Pam.
Okay.
And my great grandmother had heard it because I always stayed with her a lot. My mom was getting her master's at TSU at that time.
Okay.
But yeah, so, and then she told the whole family, and then I started in the choir at church at Gordon Memorial Methodist on Herman Street.
Gordon Memorial. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I kept singing from that point on when they realized I had the ability to mimic that voice. But I was intrigued. I was like, wow. Pam.
We need you on this podcast. You influence somebody right here. This is crazy.
Wait, it's Tanisha Arnold. That's her name.
Tanisha Arnold, yeah. Tanisha Arnold
So,
and
you
Tisha
know,
Campbell, they both.
You are the reason. You sparked something in me when you sung that version of Silent Night on Martin Lawrence show.
We need that. See, that's inspirational.
For real.
So, you know, a lot of things get drawn into that. I'm gonna dive in a little bit with me since you are in the music world. You're a great singer. I always call myself self-proclaimed the king of R&B, as in knowing my music. Now I ain't say I can sing, but anything late '80s, early '90s R&B, like I can tell you who that song is. Like I'm waiting for the opportunity to. Actually, I have met Bruno Mars, but I didn't get to talk to him the way I want to talk to him. But I'm waiting for the opportunity to meet Bruno again or Drake, in a sense to where I can let them know about my R&B knowledge. Because I, like, for example, this is how cold I am with it. When Megan Thee Stallion came out with the a Big Ol' Freak song, I already knew what song she sampled before anybody. Okay. Do you even know what song she sampled?
Connoisseur.
No.
Hold on. I'm trying to get the right. Oh, it's in me. It's an R&B joint though.
It's an R&B group that she got it from. That's all I'm gonna give you.
Oh, dang it! I might have to hear it.
I see Candace's face. She's singing herself.
I don't got it.
She sampled that song from Immature, and the song was called "Is It Love This Time." If y'all go back and look up on YouTube, the intro of that song is gonna be Brandy on the phone. Brandy, Moesha, talking about Marcus Houston, basically. Talking about boom, boom, want to hear the song on the radio. Right. And then it goes into the song. Once y'all go home, do your homework, y'all gonna be like, wow, it showed this. So that's where it came from. But I knew about that before that because I'm already an R&B guy.
How the song go? Sing the chorus.
I can't sing.
Aye.
You know what I'm saying? You catch me in the shower or something, then you hear everything. But I can't, I just, I can mimic it. But nah, but, so you saying that about the whole Tisha Arnold inspiring you is heavy with me because like I'm inspired on a lot of things I do, even the way myself being charismatic, even when it comes to even women, like it's because of R&B. Yeah. You know what I mean? Of course, I love rap. I'm not gonna hold you on that. Yeah, same. But I'm an R&B savant. I'm telling you, I can break things down. So, but Pam is your inspiration.
Yes,
in a sense.
Pam. She literally. When I watched that episode, it sparked something in me. And then from that point on, my parents really, my whole life, I was influenced by jazz and hip hop first.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. You know, my godfather, who raised me, you know, he was heavy on the Miles, heavy on the John Coltrane, heavy on the Minnie Riperton, but also heavy on, like, Public Enemy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Dougie Fresh.
Yeah, you know. So somebody in that group, you know, I guess we can bring him up or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say this. Since you brought up Public Enemy. My favorite R&B artist of all time is Michael Jackson. Okay?
How ironic. We have the same birthday.
See, you're great people. My second favorite artist of all time, R&B. You mentioned Public Enemy earlier. Okay. R. Kelly. And I know it.
Sorry.
I know.
It's a no for me.
You know.
Can't wait to post this.
Oh, yeah. I know it.
And I'm a survivor too, so it's even deeper.
And I feel for you. Mm-hmm. And I'm not taking up for anything he done. Yeah. But I'm talking about on the artist, music wise. Mm-hmm. That's why I say now his personal life, he's sick. I say that on camera.
He's a sick person.
But on the musical, and to me, he's number 2 of his catalog. And then also he didn't wrote. Matter of fact, it's crazy. I mean, saying this, he even wrote for my favorite artist. He wrote for Michael. So I'm like, wow. So he got songs.
What song?
Butterflies. He wrote that.
He didn't write that.
Yes, he did.
Floetry wrote that. No.
Yeah.
I need to find this.
Oh yeah. And then
Floetry, who got that sample?
No,
Floetry.
Yeah. And then matter of fact, all you gotta do type in songs R. Kelly wrote for Michael Jackson. And then I didn't even know this. He wrote songs for B2K. Bump, 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 and all that. He wrote that. I said, wow. So it's like,
I'll give him his range.
His range.
His caliber. He definitely had it.
Yeah.
But I think his personal life, that kind of I guess it got to a point where it kind of. I don't know if it ruined it for you. I know it ruined it for a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
But
it makes us to this day feel weird when we bump his music in the car.
I can't do it.
But I will say this, even outside, I mean to cut you off, but I will say this: if once we do start doing that, we're gonna have to do that for all. We have to do it for Elvis. We have to do it for some of these movies we watch. You know, any kind of Jeffrey Epstein movie we seen, we can't watch it no more. I don't care if you did like it, Training Day, all that. You can't watch it because of that same. We gotta get the same energy.
I think it's about what is your integral standards and values.
Mm-hmm.
And if you align with that, you have to take action accordingly.
Right.
Because, you know, it's just like, how can you support something that your standards and values don't align with? Regardless of, people can do a lot of great things. Mm-hmm. But if they're hurting people, I don't want to support them.
It's funny you bring it up, because we had on a past interview about the topic we had with a pastor. And you say that, and then that's why we have to be very cautious on that, because, like, I'm a Christian, okay? I don't know if you are or not, too. But there's certain things that we ain't supposed to be cool with if you want to use that same energy. That's even come with abortion or same sex, all that is in an umbrella. So we can't be hypocritical, because that's our faith.
I think for me, I think when it comes to Christianity, the root of God is love. And so sin is inevitable.
Right.
You know, and that means that when it comes to love, that has to be I feel like there's a reason why God said love is patient and kind. So therefore, it's very imperative that we provide that whoever it is. We know these are our neighbors, these are our children of God. So therefore, we have to provide people with love. And I think people misconstrue things.
I was just about to say that. I think
they misconstrue the Bible. Like, we're not about to go out here and kill goats and drink their blood anymore.
No. That's what they
we're
hold.
decades
That's what
beyond.
God and Jesus died for. For us to get over this. We don't have to sacrifice.
Like, mommy.
You said one thing, and we'll get back on the thing, but you said one thing I have to put on it. Yes, sin is inevitable, but it doesn't mean we're supposed to give in. You're still supposed to fight it. So in a sense, we can love all doesn't mean we have to condone. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
So I can love my neighbor, but I don't have to condone what they're doing.
Yeah, I think there's always going to be disagreeables.
Yeah.
But there is a set, commandment. Mm-hmm. And so we cannot utilize the Bible to vilify people and who they choose to love. There's nothing about vilifying people's, choosing to love that aligns with the characters of Christianity. Because I feel like there's a religious practice, and then there's the character of being a vessel of God. And I think the more we align with that, the more we don't utilize it as a source of hate. Because there's a lot of people, we don't want to be so dismissive of certain sins to ostracize human beings that were created by God. And I think that's what happens in the church. Because we'll, especially in patriarchy, like, it's nothing about, like, I feel like, why aren't there more pastors that are women when we birth the world? Like, that's not in the Bible to be like, no, y'all can't be a pastor. You know what I mean?
No. See, that's, we going.
I know we get
there. And I'm not getting on your case, but you have to do your homework, because it does say that it's out of order. That's why they don't have women as pastors, because in the book even say that's out of order, because the man's supposed to be the lead or the head of that sanctuary. So it's like that's why it's set up that way in a sense. Like I had just told Candace and Pastor, who was on our last show, that technically there's no female angels.
So my question is everything in the Bible perfect?
What you mean?
Is everything, every story,
nothing is
everything?
perfect. Okay. But these
So does it mean that it lasts? What's said in the Bible? Like, is there not evolutionary things that come with the Bible? Because at the same time, it's just like, if women have a mind and a soul and a spirit and wisdom, there's no reason they should not be able to preach.
Me personally, I don't want to sound sexist. I'm gonna be honest with you.
But patriarchy is like the foundation of the Bible.
The whole meaning of helpmate.
Right. Yeah.
So you're not And just be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of helpmate. So that doesn't mean since you're a woman, God didn't give you the gift of being able to have what's the word I'm looking for? The price of knowing the word and be able to speak it out. But but if you want to be technical or be honest, that's how you're supposed to be in line with a husband, where you can instill that to him, give him knowledge to help him out as he leads that. Because if you are a woman of the cloth like that, and God has given you this vision, this way to talk, you're supposed to instill that into your husband so he can give it out to the masses. It's not your job for that.
But what about the virtuous woman? You know, in the book of Psalms, it's like the end of it when they're saying the virtuous woman, she's out in the community, she's speaking, she's helping, she's doing all that.
Talking about like Deborah.
Yeah, it's just like I understand instilling that into your husband or into your person, whoever that is. But that's not the only reason why she exists, is to instill that information into Kim, or it's like so he can like push it out there.
Because
that makes sense.
It was that way because he knew that the world is not going to listen to it unless it came from that male figure. He knew even though a woman is going to have the knowledge, though you might listen, but the world might not.
The woman don't have the knowledge.
But I think,
even though the woman has the knowledge, he knew that the masses is not going to like you.
Receive it. Why did I go receive it? Because I mean,
the way
T.D.
of like you said,
woman,
his sister, his daughter, man.
His daughter, yeah, his daughter and his wife.
She's pushing.
I mean, they're receiving a lot of knowledge from her.
But her knowledge is her big base is women. Of course it is.
It's not just women.
No, her biggest base, her biggest group of people who support her are women. Like she has a big female following because of the same thing that y'all are speaking of.
Why y'all not following?
I don't. Oh man,
how do y'all love women but don't have the ability to follow?
But it's just like in a sense, it's just like isn't a man kind of following a woman in a sense?
That's why. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's out of order. Like a man is not. A man's supposed to lead a woman. So even if in pastor, no, a woman can lead me. She can help me.
We can help, but we can't.
She can help me. She can help me. She can open my.
I don't agree. I'm sorry. I don't agree. Can't even subscribe. I won't subscribe to that because you're being led by your grandmother. You're being led by your mother. They all have informed you. And there's a lot of women who.
I'm not being led by my grandmother.
Who are you led by?
God.
Only.
Yes.
So how are you led by God?
Because I talk with him, my relationship with him.
Okay, so do women talk with God and create a relationship with him? So how is it how can you lead with the message of God and not women? If you come to a human perspective outside of the sex of it all, because I believe in loving people according to their human self, not their sex. Hallelujah. So therefore, if we're both receiving the message of God, we should both be able to lead.
Side by side. That's why you see.
So therefore, you can receive leadership.
Huh?
Women. Therefore, you can receive leadership for them because.
No, I'm receiving tutelage. I'm not. I'm still. It's okay.
Give an example.
For example.
Yeah, I want to.
Let's get even outside of the religion aspect. And don't be trying to be biased. Sometimes y'all will be biased on these conversations because y'all know how it might go. If we are in a relationship and we're at home. And an intruder comes in our house. Who you expect? Am I expecting you to go to the door to see what's going on, or are you expecting me to go to the door to check you?
Whoever's closest.
That's not
because guess what? Women can martial arts train.
That's not.
And men can too.
But that's not.
I'll say from my perspective, I think that both of us should know what to do in that situation, regardless. You know, whether you go to the door.
Because what if you're not there?
That's what I'm saying. Y'all are giving the millennial.
We are millennials. It's just
because that's not how it goes. Man,
so you feel the expectation. This is why patriarchy is such a detriment to humankind. Because
to
mankind, like just overall, because you feel
it's
like
also the physical aspect, which I'm naturally stronger than you. It doesn't mean you're smart. It doesn't mean I'm smarter than you. I'm just physically stronger than you. So I'm supposed to protect you. It's just like in the military. That's why they had it. That's why it was such an issue in the military when they are starting to allow women to be on the front line. Because you got to understand something. When you fight in a war, these are men against men. Just because we're in the United States and we got women in the front line, that doesn't mean Iraq got to abide by what you said. They're going to still have men. So that's why it was a problem when you had them there. Because then, even though that woman could be skilled, it still come down to it. The Iraqi guy might be skilled too. And that's a man versus woman situation. Can be overtook. And then also, y'all don't understand what it does to the man's psyche. For example, if my dad explained this one time, because he was in Vietnam, and he was like, that's when it started really trickling in. You putting men in a weird spot too, even on the military side. If we're both in the military, we're both skilled warriors. The man in me is still gonna have a level of wanting to protect you, in the sense because of danger, because you're still a woman. Even though I know you're skilled, something around above me is going to want to like still protect you. That's going to put me in hindrance because now I'm behind the enemy's line, and I'm not looking at my whole corners because I'm still trying to make sure you straight.
Protection is a human trait. I want to protect my grandmother. I want to protect my brother. I want to protect. It's not woman or man. Protection is something that has been spiritually ingrained in being a positive human vessel in the world. So I don't look at it as like, oh,
it's like a woman wanting to protect her child. That's still
like I want to protect people.
Right, you want to protect your husband too, but it's your husband's job to protect that house.
I think it's
and
human's
then she's
job
right there
to
behind
protect.
you with that I
don't agree.
I
don't agree. I think that people, I believe it like roles are established according to the relationship. Relationships are unique. There's some women who run the household. There's some men who decide, this is my lane. I like to just be with the kids, and there's the relationships that you choose. It's just like a team. When you're running a business, people have a skill set that God has given them that they know that they can deliver. And it's not a man, it's not a woman, it's not whoever you decide to be, you have the skill set.
I still have to say that's a new generation thing. Because at the end of the day, it's not even
evolution is inevitable.
But it's not a good evolution. What I'm saying is and I have to really say this on camera,
okay.
We're the only race that's even having this conversation.
Not really. Well, we are the most scrutinized and the debilitating race that exists in America.
If we were to go to a Hispanic household right now, it's already understood. That man is protecting his family. His wife will still be there to pick him up or help out if he needed right then. But they still know the hierarchy. Okay, he's a man. He's leading this house here. I'm leading his tutelage, but he's protecting us. And boom,
if you go to the root of your ancestry, there are very strong women warriors who also were the head of villages. And so, therefore, if a culture decides to adhere to the degradation and the subordinate of women, then that's their prerogative. But that's not.
I'm glad you said that because that movie that just came out was very misleading.
What movie? The Barbie movie?
Woman King.
Oh God! Okay, can we talk about music? This is the second podcast.
We'll get back on that. No, I'm trying to look that up. I'll say this before we get back to the music.
It was
the reason why I said it was misleading is because of the first off the term Woman King. That doesn't make sense. Then two, the whole story
Women can be kings?
No, they can be queens.
Okay.
So the story, so that's already like okay, an oxymoron on that. But then on two, the movie trailer was leading like okay, they was their own separate king, whatever leaders would. Now you find out the whole story of the what do you call it? The homie. That's their name. Those are the warriors.
Yeah.
They was actually wives to a king. They was his soldiers. So how are you a king when you still answering somebody? So I was like, the trailer don't show that. And I don't know if y'all seen the movie. Wasn't that true? They all was wives of their king, right?
That's true.
They might not have been his they might not was having sex with him, but they was up under his tutelage.
But he recognized that she had a skill set
he can recognize
that was beyond him, and so therefore she put her in position where she belonged.
He did
where she was ordained.
He said he did what? He did what?
She ordained. She recognized that he could not.
But you also just
deliver.
Said the thing though. You said he put her what?
Well, because his position was legacy.
But he also was the king.
So now he's shifting because it's time. It's evolution. He realizes the way. Sometimes you have to realize that the way things are not right, and so therefore you shift. Right. And he decided, wow, the way things have been is not right. She deserves this.
But he had to put her in that position
because of legacy.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Just because of there are some old things.
Well, I just heard it was several of them, but he put them in the position. He seen they had good warrior skill set, and he again because you said out your own mouth, he put them.
She did, yeah.
It wasn't a inherited. Oh, okay, I'm born now. He had to. He seen what she could do, and he put her in that position.
and he did, and he honored her because she deserves to be honored. However, there are old ways that are old for a reason, and now he is creating a world of a new way that needs to be adopted. When he put her in that position, the new way was adopted because the old way no longer worked for that village.
Well, to be honest with you, we're going to get back in music. He put her in that position, and if you don't know who true story is, the homie, they got conquered by the male other tribe guys came and took over. So I don't know what happened with that. I'm just throwing it out there. If all y'all gotta do y'all research. You go back and see what happened after that, since you want to say that. They end up getting conquered by other men of another tribe, and it was over.
People don't win all the time. Doesn't mean they have to be there. Doesn't mean they don't deserve to be there.
We haven't. All I know is we haven't seen and I'm not trying to be sensitive here, but we haven't seen a female system in leadership since.
Is the male system working for us?
Yeah.
You sure?
And I'm gonna tell you why I say that. It even goes into us the music. Right now, I'm gonna speak on the black community, the black race. Y'all the number one educated in our group, in our race. They got the most money. Y'all got the best jobs. But still at the bottom when it comes to marriage. So it's like, what's working? Yes, you have the money, you have
lack
the degrees.
of therapy. People need therapy. They're mentally ill.
On both sides.
Humans require therapy right now. Things will thrive when people get to the root of their trauma. All we're doing is perpetuating cycles of trauma that came from the way that America in itself was ignited, which was through, demoralization of a culture, which is the African culture. So therefore, these cycles are continuing in our DNA, as well as in the white structure of how they want to be powerful over us. So therefore, if we do not heal ourselves and heal our viewpoints and the old ways, just imagine if people never fought to be free, we wouldn't be. So, the old ways don't always work forever. So we have to be able to get to a point in our life where we realize there has to be an evolution of ways. And that's including in the Bible, that's including in all these systems, because it does not work for the well-being of humankind. And ultimately, God wants the well-being of humankind and love to persist in all of us, no matter what our color is, no matter who we decide to be loved.
I have to say this, and I have to just put it out there. The evolution that you speak of, and also the trajectory of our people, we're not getting better because of we're taking in what you're saying. We're going away from our norms where we were. For example, if you go back to the 50s and 60s, regardless of the white man on our neck, but if you look at our community, we was together because we did things the way things were supposed to be. He was leading, boom, boom. We was a family-oriented thing. And I'm gonna get some flack for this, not on the women's side, but on just other men I've been in conversation with, older and younger. They have admitted to me that they feel that we went left because of we followed a man's dream that wasn't all of our dreams. And when I speak of that, we're talking about MLK. And what's crazy, even MLK before he died said this. And you can look this up. When when he first started the civil rights movement, a lot of people don't know he was just like Malcolm X. He was very tactical. You ain't finna beat me up, I'm gonna beat you back. But then he switched when he had a certain guy got into his group. We get on that on another podcast. He got into his group and changed his mindset of turning the cheek. So it made us kind of docile. And then we cool getting hit upside the head. Just I'm gonna keep on marching. So as the years go by, boom, boom, we trying to really get these. We trying to fight for equal rights. But what we should have done was fight for equal rights. But we should have had separate but equal. We fought for inclusion. And once we did that, we forgot our own traditions and our own things. And then when the civil rights, when Martin Luther King was killed, before he killed, he said, man, I feel like I led my people into a burning building. Because he's seen it right on the wall. It doesn't matter what I do, they're still going to have a certain way. And now we including ourselves with them, and it'll never be equal because they're at the top. They have the power. Still to this day, as black folks.
How did they get there? How did they get to the
war? conquer. They took over. That's what they did.
All the characteristics that are not of what?
Of what?
God.
Yeah, because that's another subject. That's why I say, that's why I feel, I brought this up before again about the Jacob and Esau. I don't know shit about that. The Jacob and Esau. You know what I'm saying? Who are their descendants? And then you find out they're war mongers. The certain people that we talk about is, can't say this on camera, but you look up who Jacob Esau is, and you look up who Esau is, and you understand where I'm coming from. So we're not those type of people. We didn't conquer and take over stuff. Yes, those.
The issue is hate. The issue is hate.
Okay.
I think that unification of humankind is inevitable. People are going to continue to put their ego and their pride in the forefront of wanting power, but God has the ultimate power. And so my name means one who brings the knowledge of peace and love. And so that is my mission, that is my goal. Okay. So no matter what the differences are, that's what we need to bring. We can battle over our differences all day long, but ultimately, because you're a human, because when I die, I am not my color, I am a spirit, I am a soul, we bleed the same blood, we should not harm each other, we should not hate each other, and we should be able to live in a fruitful world with the bare necessities that is shelter, that is water, that is food, that is clothes.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it, because that's what we got away from. And that's why I'm saying that's what we was at.
But patriarchy and power struggles is not going to lead us to the peace of unity.
But you bring up the Bible and you say, we can only, you basically what I'm getting from you saying we can only pick and choose what we want to bring out of it. But it says, he said, so even the whole Adam and Eve situation is now here's something.
Let's talk about my album.
Let's talk about that. We'll get on that. Let's talk about the album. Let's talk about
We'll talk about this separate.
We will. Off air. So, your album, powerful. Candace spoke earlier about your EP too.
Why You Wait?
Yeah. What was the inspiration of it?
Well, song became my source of communication.
Okay.
I grew up in a pretty harsh landfill of raising where, my parents didn't used to, know how to communicate. So my communication became song lyrics.
Okay.
I didn't have a source of safety to communicate my needs or things I was going through. And so music became that. And one of my first inspirations was NDRE. And I would hear her songs. And I was like, man, I want to write my story, or I want to write how I'm feeling, because no one will listen to me. We grew up in that world of like, you got to be seen and not heard, and that's not the way it needs to be. Like, those are one of the things that need to change. People need to deserve to be seen and heard and listened to. You know what I'm saying? So, but I didn't have that. So once I discovered that I could sing, it matriculated into me becoming a songwriter. Okay. And then with that, I experienced a set of life experiences. And finally, after like being on American Idol and graduated from the Tennessee State University with a music degree.
Shout out to TSU.
And I got a minor in theater. I decided I wanted to provide some information about love and how it feels to me. And it wasn't everything, but it was just enough. And so I was like, this is what I can give you while you wait on me being ready to actually be with you. Because I wasn't ready to be with a person, but I was ready to at least express the feelings that I had for you. And that's where While You Wait comes from. So while you wait on me to be ready, here's what I have to say.
Okay.
Just try me. That's one of the songs that people love.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
That's a favorite.
Yeah.
People go through so many past experiences that kind of make them jaded or don't want to hop into something new, and they bring that past with them into the new thing, and it's just like, I'm a whole different person. Like, perhaps I'll impact you in a better way. So just try me before you make a decision on leaving me alone or blocking me from this astronomical, magical, immaculate love that I got. That's what I got.
Okay. So like, did you have like a form of like, okay, even in you saying while you wait, are you speaking of about how when you're ready to dive into this, you said you speak about the immaculate love. Mm-hmm. What does that look like? Is it submission? Is it all that? I mean,
it's treasure.
Okay.
I treasure people that I love. I become a conduit of their growth and evolve, like just how they evolve. So therefore, the knowledge that I gain, I want to share with you. If it makes you better.
Okay.
If I can be a source of lean on me when you're not strong, you know what I mean? Like I become that. And you know, it's just I just let myself be open to your needs when I love someone. And so and sometimes it's a precursor to me even deciding to decide to partner with you. But Just Try Me, the song Just Try Me, is also about my struggle with remembering what I've had and deciding to go with something new, you know, and learn somebody all over again. So it's me telling like myself, I need to try this as well as you need to try me. And so I don't know, that's just like my process of, and I don't think love is like something that you kind of make happen. I think it's a spark. It could be just a season that you just have to have. Some people use all kind of different words, you know, but I mean, in order for you to learn yourself, you have to go through different seasons of people in order to, you know, really get a grasp of who you are. Because like everyone teaches you something about who you are. So, but I was in that particular time when I wrote this EP, because I wrote every single word in this EP.
Okay.
Like top to bottom, and it just kind of threw up out of me. Like it was just so easy to write because I was in a moment.
Right.
I love a moment.
Yeah.
Like when you can get the bubble of love, honey, tap in. Because you don't know how long it's gonna last.
Right. That's real.
I'm trying to relish in this sweetness, honey. Let me dive in the honey.
Let it out.
Okay. I want to be sweet as long as possible because it can get ugly. It can get real tyrannic.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying?
Tyrannic.
Tyrannical, honey.
You have a lot of confidence, and that's great.
Yeah.
And you can tell it comes out even in conversation. So, with that being said, what is your lane? And I ask you that because you are a very confident woman. And is there a certain market you feel like you're tied to? I bring it up is because, in the music world, they're very judgmental. On looks, thought process, all that. Mm-hmm. So, you being a beautiful plus size woman, do you feel like that is that the lane you want to cater to? Do you feel like that they have a voice, they need to be heard? Outside of the Lizzos and all that, because she's kind of wild to me, in a sense. I think y'all it's completely different, especially.
Yeah, we are.
Yours more to
love
me.
Love her though.
Black woman, love her, but you're more soulfulness. I don't get soulfulness from her. I get kind of a Jill Scottness from you. So is that the lane you're looking for, or?
I'm looking to create my own wave, like David Bowie and Cher.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yes, that is a big lane. Well.
And Michael Jackson.
Cher kind of, you're right, but I feel like when they was together, it was a different lane. But when she went solo, I feel like she was kind of on some Madonna stuff.
Yeah, I think she bloomed into just self-acceptance. And when you bloom into self-acceptance, you're not concerned with opinion. You're concerned with loving yourself.
That's true, but I did like her better with David though, because it was more.
Well, you're in a patriarchal.
Right. Shit, when she tried to go solo, kind of Madonna.
You're like, she needs a man. No.
It's just that it was little. She got a little. You can tell the difference because when it was Cher and David Bowie, she was more sweet.
Well, no, she was with
Saaneah. Saaneah, yeah, it was more sweet, kind of.
Saaneah.
I got you, babe. All that stuff, but then. Solo, she wearing the tight leggings. I was like,
well,
Madonna. I said, what you trying to? I thought she was trying to find a different kind of. She just got different.
Nina Simone says, when it comes to, what real freedom is no fear.
Yeah.
So I feel like people in this realm is God talks about the importance of freedom and all that. So I think part of the on earth realm is about leaning into freedom. We may never get there, but we're trying to find the pathway that leads us there. And so sunny was a moment, it was a season, it was a winter, it was a little summer, maybe a little fall. But then, you know, she sprung out of it into share individually, and she's a share with millions and billions and trillions, with properties, and with a world of her own where she can decide and live in the land of autonomy.
So is that, and you know, without getting back on the Bible thing, but is that more okay, glory on earth or glory in self?
No, that's glory if you're closest to your Creator, because your bond with Creator is what provides you with freedom.
The reason why I made
because just think about it. Because if you think about it, scrutiny. You know, Jesus was trying to provide all of these characteristics. Hey, you know, you do this, you do that. Like, hey, listen to what I'm saying. You can tap into this. Nobody was listening. You know, and so I feel like we're, you know, vessels of that mode. Like, because when you get past what other people are saying to you, that's when success happens. That's when you become a vessel, a messenger. I want to be a messenger of love. So it's just like, I feel like you can't, there's a lot of women and people in partnerships that stay there, but they're hurting and they're depressed and they're not where they need to be. And they shouldn't have to stay there, because they know there's a better self and a self that's closer to God that they need to get to. And so therefore we go through sets of partners. And so Sunny's season was over. And she stepped out into share season with herself.
And that's cool. It's just that, and like I said, I analyze things to how your fruit is bared. So yes, Sunny, that was a time, but you said something that I had to try to chin check you on. Okay. You said she came into share, and you said you feel like that was her way of getting closer to God. But if you look at the fruit, she didn't. I'm not getting on your case or her case, but that wasn't. I don't know what kind of godliness that are you speaking of, because she went from sweet holiness to sexism, and that's not godly. So I don't know which. You got to do
What's her story?
You got to do history on share.
Where's she get sexism?
She's very, very, very deep on. That's why I compare her to Madonna. She's still to this day. She was just on the.
It might be a cultural thing.
She was just on the tabloids just now. She's dating a 30-year-old guy, and she's 70 something. And but what she was doing,
guys,
she's still wearing sexual.
Al Pacino literally is with someone 25 and he's 80. He just had a baby with one.
Well, Al Pacino is an actor. She is and I'm not giving an excuse.
She's an actress. Did you not see Moonlight?
One song. One movie. She's a singer known as, and then also goes by how you present yourself and you present yourself in public. When you see her in public, she's 70 plus, she's wearing
beautiful
domination stuff. That's not godly.
She's winning. Where does it say don't wear dominatrix stuff in the Bible? Don't you whip? You know what I mean? Like, where is that?
It does say that. You're not supposed to
tell me that.
You cover yourself.
What is it?
I'm not saying you're supposed to everybody just walk around with it as a nun outfit, but you're not supposed to be exuding out sexual.
Are guys supposed to wear their shirt off? What about the guys wearing their shirt off?
What about it?
Well, let me tell you this before we get here, because we'll go back in there. We'll go back and forth in that. My goal as an artist in the land of being a curvy woman.
I thought of the t-shirt in the land of sunshine.
In the land of golden sunshine, by the coldness. Okay, that's it. I feel like, you know, my goal is to be a source to eliminate self-hate. I think that eradicating patriarchy is one of my goals.
So you feel like a feminist?
I wouldn't label myself as a feminist. I would label myself as someone who wants to be a sparker of autonomy. There's a lot of things that are very harmful to humankind that we perpetuate and advocate for that needs to be eliminated, including this idea of what sexuality should be for women versus men. And also the eluding of the conversation. I think there's a lot of sexual violence that is taking place because we don't have the conversations, because there's this advocation for men functioning in the land of power, and therefore many women have lost their voice in that. And so my goal as an artist who is plus size is for me to represent someone who has accepted themselves through therapy, has found their voice, and has the ability to say no when things are uncomfortable, but also has the ability to know how to agree and disagree and love somebody still. My music is a sound, it's a color that soothes the soul. There's a lot of healing that has to take place. And I started with the gospel. I started with church music, and the spirit of that music fuels everything that I write, every story that I tell through my song, so that people can heal, and they don't feel alone, and so that they can love again. You may have loved once, but you can love again.
Yeah. A lot of people don't feel like they can again. So that's
it's scary to love again, but it's just a part of the life process, and I want people to really, people want to tell people who they should be, but it's your right to discover all you can be in this life, and there's some very clear rules that are just blatant, and just in a sense of just like being a good person that people need to find a way to connect to. You know what I'm saying? And so equality is one of them. Finding a voice is one of them. I've been through a plethora of trauma in my life, and through therapy, I'm an extreme therapy advocate. People who are afraid of vulnerability, a lot of them are over masculine, because honestly we're born with both sides, so you just happen to turn out one way or the other, and you either put one side under the rug versus kind of find balance in both of them, the feminine and the masculine. And so as I create more music, my music, the goal is to heal people, and not feel like they gotta just conform. I can't stand conformity. That's not my thing.
You said something with with we both have things. I have to say this on the man's perspective, and I'm gonna get off the women. I'm gonna get on the men on that. Yeah. I think we're separate for a reason. Right now, in the last 20 years, I think that we have too many men that's tapping into their femininity, as in how they're making their actions when it comes to killing. I guarantee you, I'm gonna say this on camera. We have, for the last 25 years, have put this persona thing in it. So if you was this thug type, that's the ideal macho man. But in reality, to me, that's the most feminine man, because he's the one that's going to react off emotion quick. You step on his shoe, he want to kill you. Now I know it's no disrespect to women, but that's a feminine trait to want to react off of something so mild.
I would say unstable. I would say mentally unstable. I don't think it's feminine or masculine. I think they literally went through a set of experiences as a child that led them to not have self-discipline and control.
It comes from, shout out to Charleston White. Charleston White said on the interview, he had broke it down better than I can right now. You just have to look it up. But he was saying that he broke it down. Majority of the guys that I knew, we going to White Street, straight hood. Majority of those guys who was quick to fight or quick to have temper
need therapy.
They need therapy regardless, but they also was single parent raised, boom, boom, boom. And they some of their anger that they had was the anger they had for their father that wasn't there, or the anger they had at their mom for whatever reason, and it exuded out on them, on how they interacted. Compared to the guys like myself or other homies I grew up with who had both parents, we were more chill. We had yin. You had your mom and dad. Your dad showed you, okay, this is how men are supposed to walk and react. Your mom coming, okay, this is the type of woman you need to look for when you're looking for a spouse. Mm-hmm. Some guys didn't have that. So the one who didn't have it was the ones who had temperament problems. So that's why they made them tap in, and since they're with their mom the most, they tap in more to the feminine side than anything. And because they seen how their mom reacted on the phone, even with her guy, she hear him yelling, cussing, he think that's cool. Then she's yelling at him too because she's mad about something. So all those things is creating this bomb that's about to explode. Yes, they need therapy, but I'm trying to show you that's why we need each other, and why it's a yin and yang thing.
He's suffering from scarcity.
So what now?
He's suffering from scarcity. So everyone has a hole inside or a lack inside. And so whether the father raises you or the mother raises you or both, your brain receives tragedy a certain way. Yeah. You know, and it impacts your nervous system a certain way. And if you do not learn as a child how to regulate your nervous system, no matter who raises you, you're bound to react in ways that lack discipline. And so if we start at the root of childhood with incorporating therapy and understanding yourself and not being an overlord to someone and really being able to hear what they have to say, understand what they're feeling, all these other things, then you're able to have emotional and regulation and maturity.
That's why that therapy starts at home.
So it starts in the child. But see,
I mean,
we were stigmatized. We weren't like, ooh, get some therapy. No, nothing's wrong with us.
No. I'm not talking.
But it's not. I don't think it's a feminine and masculine thing. It's not that. I don't think that's what it is. Trauma is trauma, whether it's feminine, whether it's masculine, maybe it's in between. Whatever it is, trauma's not like, oh my God, it was a woman. Oh my God, it was a man. Trauma is just reacting in the body. It's reacting. Your brain is trying to save you. So you react according to that, huh?
It still comes down to balance. I can only speak on myself because I had both. I wasn't
balance helps it.
Right. That's why
if you were seeing her,
my mom and the balance of my dad.
But we were talking about the single people that grew up in single families.
You
I was
off balance.
I'm off balance. Well, I'm not off balance. I had 3 years of beautiful therapy from the Sexual Assault Center. Hallelujah, praise God to them.
Hold on, say it again.
I've had 3 years of therapy from the Sexual Assault Center, and they provided me with a new informed brain. And also they're very, very intentional about creating new beliefs.
Is it at the Oasis Center?
No, that's actually located at Rosa Parks Boulevard.
Okay,
I never.
The reason I asked that because I'm part of a lot of nonprofits.
Okay.
And one of the nonprofits I teamed up with is with I forgot the name. It's crazy. I'm part of it. I can't think of her name. I got a brain fart right now. But she was Trump let her out of prison.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
And
over there off of Tennessee, blah blah blah.
The what now?
The Tennessee, the spot.
Well, it was
the Tennessee location.
Yes.
Okay, and Kardashian was involved.
Right. Okay. And then and I've had this conversation with her, and she, she said it to herself. She said, "No, Robbie, you're right in a sense, but I understand people gonna have their different ways, but getting that from her, knowing what she went through, had to kill a man and all this stuff, and she still said, "No, it's leaning more towards what I'm saying." That's why I have this whole draw about it. That does not take away from your experience, anybody else's experience. It's just that, but when we had that deep heart with her and Ron Johnson, and she was like, "No, it's
crazy.
It's complicated." But yeah,
it's crazy how the impact of caretakers, or the lack of them caretaking, and who we turn into as children. We learn how to be people pleasers, and this cycle of trauma starts to flow into our adult lives, and if we never unpack it, then we don't know how to change it.
But that's why we got your music to get us out of it.
And my music it literally just creates a marshmallow in your nervous system. You know what I mean? If you enjoy a massage, be massaged by my soulful sounds of harmony.
No,
okay?
Really. And that's in this therapy.
So what's your favorite song? You heard, I know you just heard it. While you wait, I have a new.
That's. I mean, cut you off, but I think I'm in a chokehold right now. But I need to navigate more in your genre.
Let's press play.
Right.
No.
But I'm gonna say, but that song alone, you need. it's gonna help the audience when it comes to whatever they're going through. And just if you also be trying to find love, and
Are you
not
looking
just
for
saying,
love?
right. So not even just find love. Even if you have someone that you love, it's gonna help you navigate what you're going through with them, and just humble yourself in a sense, man. Because I think a lot of people are just not allowing themselves to be vulnerable
Yes.
to love. So that's why I say your music is therapeutic. It can be therapeutic for people who are willing to want to open themselves up for that.
It does, yeah.
Including men. Like one problem with us men is we're too hard all the time. And we're scared to be vulnerable because of whatever reason. But like I said off air before, I'm an R&B guy.
So my question to you is, okay, so when's the last time you cried? Is that something you do? Are you okay with it?
Crying is complicated for me. Last time I cried was wow, that's a good question. When I had my son, I didn't cry when he was born, but I cried once I got alone with myself, knowing like, okay, I'm stepping into fatherhood, what I'm going to do. Wasn't scared about what I'm going to do because I already had a plan, but like, okay, Rob, the old you is gone now. You're a father now. It ain't just about you no more. You know what I'm saying? You got it, boom, boom.
That's transformation.
Transformation, right. So and it wasn't no woo-hoo crying, but it was like I teared up in the bathroom, just had my head down. But outside of that situation, crying for me is so tricky, man. Like, my nephew died going on 2 years ago now. And I didn't cry at the immediate moment. But, it hits you later on. You're like, man, that's my nephew, my sister's first child, boom, boom. We didn't grow up together because he's so much younger, but I still grew up with him in a sense. And but I couldn't just funeral death. I didn't cry on death, but I might get sentimental on. Crazy, I'm saying this on air. A certain song I like might get me though.
What song?
It could be any kind of love song that I'm drawn to. Might have me. I ain't gonna be boo and crying, but I might like, damn man, it's getting me, man. Is there onions in here? I might, But
is it scary for you to cry? Do you feel like do you associate crying with weakness?
No. Because
scientifically, it's actually a stress reliever.
Oh yeah, of course. But no, I think the myth of men being scared to cry is over with. Men cry nowadays. You know what I mean? We're not like we're not like our dads now. It's just that it used to be taboo. The taboo thing about it was that was a weak shit to do.
Do you encourage your friends to cry or to be more vulnerable, or to also be mindful of just how they're around, like how they're being a protective person in an environment, like in a club environment? Because one of the things that the Sexual Assault Center does is they provide a training for safe bars. Because a safe bar is a place where people have the awareness of like catching the signs of someone who is trying to tap into sexual violence. So I wonder, like, are men having conversations about like how do we prevent this? And or if not, do you think it's important to start having those conversations? Because I feel like that conversation is just so like, you hear the music, y'all hear my songs and you feel all these things, but how is it changing the safety of our people? Of women.
I'll be honest with you, fully. With black men, it sounds good that we should do this. You're not going to get us to open up with our best friends like that, because even with our best friends, we love them to death. It's still a level of competition amongst us in a sense as men. To be honest with you, to answer your question though, that is something we need to reside in our woman, not our best friend. I need to be able to cry to my lady, not my homeboy. My homeboy is my pick me up. Hey, bro, we got this, man. You guys, let's go. I don't need him for no crown shoulder. That's why
is that fake though? I just feel like
that's the guy thing. We different between.
Is it a guy thing? Yeah.
It's different between.
I don't know.
Yeah. I need to refine. That's why going back to the Bible. That's why you are my helpmate or you're my partner.
It makes me cringe.
I understand, but that's what it is. I don't need to be refining into to a homeboy or even a woman that's not mine. I need to find it to my lady. She needs it. That needs to be my soft spot or my safe spot. I don't need to refine
everybody doesn't deserve your safety or vulnerability.
Exactly. But if she's my lady, then clearly she's my that's what it, or I wouldn't be dating her. So that's why, or married to her. That's who I need to be refining that to.
There's
with
sacredness
God
there.
in the middle.
Yeah, I believe in sacred partnership. I think that's very important. And when it comes to my music, like I'm actually building I'm releasing my second project August 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Turn up.
It's been a minute. I was affected by the tornado. I went through, sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother, I'm a caretaker of my grandmother, and she, broke some bones and had an assortment of things. And this was all during the COVID space, and I had to kind of rebuild myself to realizing the gift that God has given me of song and how it really is a source of healing. And so, with that said, I'm literally bringing to life the second project, and it's called At Your Service, because that's really what, that's my reason why. I do admire being able to be a source and a conduit of leveling up someone's self-love. So you talked about being plus size and what my goal is in that. It's like women go through stages and phases of size, and there's not one size that matters more than the other.
I'm glad you brought up plus size.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a question I always want to ask, and I've had this debate with others before, especially at the barbershop.
The barbershop?
Oh, yeah.
What's your barbershop?
Chop Nation. My boy Bleak. He's my barber. Actually got two barbers. Shout out to D Green, too. But Chop Nation. So I had to ask this. And one thing that women don't understand, going to your question about your friends, we do a lot of talking at the barbershop. It's like y'all do the salon on it. That's where us men come together and have our debates, our views and all that. And you being plus size, I wanted to know, how's the love life with you guys? What I mean by that is, are you running across, on the most case, men that's genuinely in love with you, genuinely like you, 2, fetish, or 3, a guy feeling like, well, this is my last resort type shit. I always want to know that just because of the conversation at the barbershop. Yeah. And then some of the people at the barbershop, not to be funny, they ain't plus size, they overweight. But they said some things that warrants this answer. And I think because people don't understand that, they want to know, like, how's that set up for you guys?
I think that, okay, for me, I experience people that just don't have your basic levels of respect. Like, they just don't have, they don't meet people at a human level. They look at your body versus, like, your soul. And that's just ignorance to me. I'm just like, oh, I'm dealing with somebody that's ignorant. Okay, cool. Because you're living in the land of surface and I'm living in the land of deep. I think now that plus size bodies and curvy bodies are such a trend and people are buying our bodies. People are literally buying our bodies. I was scrutinized all high school for this fat ass. Ooh, can I say ass? for these bubbly cheeks that just came naturally. Yeah. Deep in the roots of Africa. You know what I'm saying? That was catered into the legacy into my grandmother and this is beyond cornbread fed. You know what I mean? Like, it's just natural. And so it's just so funny to see, how, again, the evolution of trend and the way that the society or the mainstream portrays women and who is comparable and who's valuable and all of that, it does become a fetish. And it becomes a conversation of I can handle that, or I can do this or whatever. And it's just like,
I'm glad she said so. Now I feel so
that's
confident that
ugly.
you even said that, because this is what you just said, as you have understood now, that's been in our mind. Me and been saying this for years. Like I'm gonna be transparent. In most men's eyes, not all, because you'll have one-offs. When they look at women, yes, it's physical. And when they do see a woman that might be plus size or even whatever, they're immediately thinking, okay, I'm gonna have my way with that and have fun with that, just on some whatever. and even in the past, even in the current times. But you do have some men who just like bigger women. I know one right now.
There's preference to like, but they like to hide it. Some men like to hide it.
Even that preference, that's why I say it's still a fetish even with them hiding. Because what it is they're hiding they're hiding a what's the word I'm looking for?
I think
they have some own insecurities.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's why they would rather date somebody who's bigger, in a sense, make them feel good about themselves.
And see, honestly, my brand Curvy Confidence, it's a tool to eliminate this whole idea that, you know, curvy women aren't experiencing very romantic lives. And that's whoever they decide to be with, because there's a lot of curvy women that are experiencing very romantic, pleasure-filled, you know, lives where they're being honored and respected and
cared to. I will say this, though. I have to put it out there.
What?
There's a catch to that, though.
What?
I know some curvy women who have their love lives.
Yeah.
But there's a catch. It's right here.
The face?
It matters.
Everybody's face matters.
No, it don't. No, because you can still have a smaller woman with a shape and still going to experience good love life.
And their face is
the face can look like the bottom of my shoe. They're still going to get there because of the body. But with the plus size, and I've known in my life, I've been a victim.
Are you a plus size? What's your...
In my life, I probably had 3 plus size women in my life, and I didn't date them. We just did something, and it was on some.
Oh Lord, the Bible is so much.
Right, but I'm gonna tell you. What that. And I dive into how those situations happen. We're gonna do that. Yeah. So, but what I mean by that is, I mentioned somebody earlier. I mentioned Jill Scott. Most men, that's our plus size woman standard that we look at. Like, if they look like her, we might go ahead and get in a real relationship.
But see,
is it just off her looks though, or like what? It's
off her looks.
It's just off her looks.
We don't care about her singing. It's about how she looks. Now she can sing, and she got some sexual songs, especially when she went viral for that whole mic thing. Remember that?
And she was just
exactly. We are so, and there's another thing.
It's crazy though, because
have fetishized big women on thinking that they just graded head. That's been something that's just always been there, and in the black side. I can't speak about the other races, but that's something in the back of our mind. But Jill beauty. And her face has always just been like stand out, especially with the Tyler Perry movie and all that. I will say the other young lady too, who was on America's Next Top Model. She ain't really plus size, but they consider her plus size when they almost won. What's her name?
Takara.
I think that's her.
Yeah, Takara was a 14. She was a size 14.
Her face
beautiful.
Right.
She's the one with she has a very
correct
grotesque. Like her boobs are beautiful.
Correct.
I like them.
But see, there's a difference between her and Jill, and what's that movie that what's the name was in?
I don't know.
What's the comedian lady almost got blackballed?
Oh. I know who you're talking about.
What's the movie I'm talking about? The comedian.
I know.
It was very, very traumatic movie. Very,
I know
very
you're talking
traumatic.
about. Yeah.
Big Girl was the main character.
I'm really
with Monique.
Monique.
But not Monique.
Oh, I don't know. Is that Monique?
What's the movie Monique was in when she was the mom and she was horrible?
Oh, Precious.
There's a difference between the girl from American Next Top Model.
But she lived her best life with her white man.
Exactly. She had to go. That's another fetish.
I don't think.
And she also got money.
I don't know if it's a fetish. Why does it have to be a fetish? Why can't there just be
Precious would not have that white boy. She wouldn't.
No, see, this is a misconception that you all decide to adopt because you lose the sight of the soul. There is people that I never thought I would be with, but because their soul tapped into mine, it was like a yes.
You also have to understand you have a beautiful face.
It's not just
everybody too. Let me put that there. But no, you have to.
It has a place, but at the end of the day, like
it still has.
So appearance is the first thing.
Appearance is still gonna be heavy.
Like heavy for you. Is appearance heavy for you? That's your first thing. I'd be like, I gotta look.
And I'm gonna dive into the 3 women I'm talking about too. I gotta hear you say on this, right?
I mean, it's not about. I'm in the land of Pan, so I love who I love, and you know, if there's a man that makes sense for my soul at the time, it's a yes. If there's a woman, then it makes sense for my soul. Yes, I am a loving person. Like, I'm a unicorn. I'm a prince. I'm a Michael Jackson. So, you know, and I grew up in in a very like maybe it was a little hippie, but it was very rooted in equality and like treating people well. I don't care.
And
whatever.
you went to the traditional school of people who have this all same mindset. I think I told you before.
Yeah.
Anybody with NSA got the same
Yes.
mindset.
I love
it's
you.
Crazy. Like
I
every
love
NSA
you.
person is like.
I love you. I love you, Robert.
It's wow. Like every NSA person I've met in my life had the same soul. It's crazy.
I
Like,
mean,
exact same soul.
It's so godly. I feel like, just think about how much God forgives and how much God just is like, I love you despite da 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 da. And it's like, I really have a job. I have a calling to be like that. But of course, I have my preferences.
Mm-hmm.
I like someone who is willing to grow and hold themselves accountable and is really working on themselves. Like, I can't be sitting here on this path of like increasing my knowledge and expanding myself, and you're not either. Now, we're going to fall in hard times. We're going to go through our different, because changing from your old self is not easy. It's like you get so comfortable in it that you're just like, you feel like that's all you deserve is your old self and what you get out of that.
Right.
But you're not going to get what destiny is sticking with your old self. So it's like, if you're not, and I'm a person that's like, once I'm done with my old self, I'm done. Right, I'm ready to, I'm like, oh, I can be her and I can experience life in a new way.
Right.
So, hey girl, I'm ready to get to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, so if that's the person, whoever they are, I'm tapping it. Okay. If you adding value to my life, and you fine. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has...
Maybe we called it, see? But Candace's ass just came.
Sometimes your aura, though, like my first boyfriend, like, I mean, I never really thought that I was going, like, the things that I thought that I liked, I never thought that I would be with that person. But I did because there was characteristics that outweighed my initial thought about what I felt like was for me. Because I really value my uncle. My uncle went to TSU, Randy Fuller. And
Coach Fuller, that's my...
You know Coach Fuller?
Come on now.
That's my uncle.
Shout out to Coach Fuller, man.
I love you, uncle.
That's
the best, like, the best that I ever, like, he literally just helped me understand so important about, like, my personal connection with God. Like, people gonna tell you how you should be with God, but you need to know God yourself. And, Uncle Randy was very instrumental in that, and so, as well as my godfather. But, because I saw him, I thought, like, football, like, NFL, you gotta, you know what I mean? Like, that was my misconception. That doesn't, but because I valued who he was as a character and someone who, really showed me love in the way that made me feel accepted, I was like, oh, I need to get a football player. But all the football players ain't like my mom, ain't like Uncle Randy. I got a whole new word. I was
didn't Lizzo say it in one of her verses?
Yes.
Someone, yeah.
Yes.
But, okay, hold on. You said football player though. So, but
that's why I thought I wanted.
Okay, what kind of football player?
I mean, I just thought because my uncle was one
football player.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Y'all just it's different sizes.
You know what I'm saying? Just like if your homeboy is with da da da, he's like, I want to get that too. But I realized I have my own personal.
It's different.
I had to create my own personal person. And just because my uncle was somebody that represented a character didn't mean that everybody that was him was that.
But the reason I say that is the difference. This comes from a football guy. It's different lanes. Coach Fuller is a cornerback. He's a smaller guy. He's just like me. I'm a receiver. So he's, a lot of times out of 10, he's going to date a smaller female in a sense, especially at that league. Especially with the NFL, But you have the offensive lineman football guys too. They're still football. Yeah. And they might, they still would talk to. Now, granted, when they get money, sometimes the smaller females do kind of gravitate towards them because they know they got the bag. But I remember in college, the big lineman was still dating bigger women too.
Really?
Yeah. That's not, when they had no choice, really.
Undercover. They wasn't out loud with it.
No. The ones like my size was undercover ones trying to hit y'all and then don't want nobody to know. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. The big guys, they ain't got no choice. They just happy somebody want to talk to them because they thinking about the girls might think he's staying because he's big and all that. It's a difference. Me being a smaller football player, not me personally, but we was the ones that you'll catch them late night I saw you with that big girl today. You know what I'm saying? Like on some other stuff.
Today.
So we're gonna dive into that with the 3 that I said. So in my life, my first encounter with a plus size female was actually in middle school. This chick was really just adamant about wanting to do some things to me, whatever. And you're in 8th grade, all this stuff. You're preteen, not preteen. Actually, you're going through puberty, all that hormone racing. You just having any female want to touch you.
You ain't got no game.
You ain't got no game. If you want to touch her, you can. So I had an encounter. Orally that she did with me then, but them did hit her nothing like that. Have sex with her, just orally. Then I didn't have another encounter until years later, until freshman year in college. There was a plus size girl that was face was beautiful, face was fine, like fine. But she was a little heavy for my liking. You know what I mean?
What's heavy? She got a gut?
Yeah, good, yeah, for sure.
What's a gut? What's the percentage? Like at 35 or 40?
I don't know. Her gut was out the same length as her titties, her breasts.
Okay.
It was out there. But she kind of had a shape a little bit though. But it was anyway. But
it's cushion.
It was right. Cushion. But and I was a smaller guy. I wouldn't even decide that now. So I'm like,
you small, you mad because you can't handle it.
I'm 220.
You was like,
I'm a
monster. Handle it.
No, it wasn't that. It was just. It wasn't that. It was just.
Why you gotta be a monster? There's nothing about monsters.
I'm gonna leave that at that. The ones that know. Anyway.
This is the contradiction for me. How are you a monster?
We're gonna leave that there.
Like, what?
The ones that know. But
not the ones that don't know.
They know.
Okay.
But anyway, so that wasn't a problem. But the big girl, my freshman year, she just kept on. She was adamant. She used to see me in the student center at the school I was at before I transferred to TSU, and was like, I know. And she just pulled me to the side one day. It's a true story. This happened. She said, I know you see me flirting with you all the time. I'm always staring at you in the student center and all that. Me, I'm trying to. I see me. You cool? You want the homies? Man, you always sitting in a little round circle with us all the time. You cool? Nah, but I want you. I want you. I'm like, what? So what you mean you want me? Like, granted, I'm still a man now, so I'm hearing these sexual things you're saying. I might be big enough. I'm like, what? I want to do this and that. So I'm like, I'm looking around. Give my number in. I gave my number.
Why you give it to the side? You don't want to let nobody know.
I want my homeboy seeing me.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm being transparent. This is the problem because the mainstream doesn't admire.
No. It wasn't just the mainstream. I didn't want no bigger either, but I still was enticed by the sexual words she was saying to me.
Because you care too much about what your homeboys think.
That was true, very true. Also, I was 21. That's true. 20. But also, I'm not normally talking to. So you had the homeboy part you just said, very true. But then also, I'm not naturally attracted to a big girl. But she was saying something that still made him jump.
But it's because of the mainstream?
No, it's because of my personal preference.
That's just your personal preference?
I don't like that big of a girl, you know what I'm saying? To be my girlfriend. I might, whatever. So
you would have sex with them, but you won't
she was
be
talking
with
about,
them.
Yeah, what she was trying to do, I'll let her do that, yeah. So
what does it say about yourself if you're just willing to...
I'm 20 years old.
So therefore, we're connected to our insecurities. I just want to make sure that we realize.
But it wasn't insecurity. It's just I'm 20. She's offering some oral service, unwanted, and
but
you're not talking good. You're right.
But I'm saying but at this point in your mind, there has to be insecurity because what is your self-worth if you're willing to take anything?
I'm 20.
That's what I'm saying. So
it's not
20 with insecurity.
I am now. I'm going to be 35.
No, I'm saying this is the process. This is where we need therapy right here.
It's not necessarily just therapy. That's just human nature. It's not like she was
I didn't accept anything.
An animal. She was a female who
she was giving you the
sexual. It could have been a smaller woman. She still was saying what she was saying to a 20-year-old guy. That's going to entice any 20-year-old guy. He can. Men are going to deny it if they want to. But if a attractive, big or slim girl coming to you and you single, talking about something they want to do something to you, you're going to like entertain it at 20 years old. Maybe not 34 or 44, but at 20, you go, okay, and you're in college, you're immature. So I was like, all right, cool. So I gave her the number. Now the second part is what you said was right. Yes, I also didn't want my homeboy to see me interacting with her like that. So I gave her the number. We ended up texting, and I'm telling her.
Now we're a trend.
Right. I end up texting her, yeah, pull up on me when my roommates go to sleep, which is gonna be like maybe 1:30 or something too. She just so happy. She even finna spend some time with me. She's like, okay, I don't care. I'll pull up whenever you say pull up. So she pulled up 1:30 in the morning when my friends go to sleep. Came over and did what she said she wanted to do in the first place, and went about her business.
Okay.
The third one, I'm gonna tease you now, and kind of the same scenario, but this chick basically said the same thing at TSU, and I was like, but she said it kind of out in front of everybody, and it kind of put me in a weird spot, like it's still being impressionable, being young.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of was saying in front of the whole group right there, I've been wanting savage. I know you hear me. Like she said it in front of people, so it put me in a weird situation. Like, bro, if you turn it out, you ain't getting it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still a female. So I was like, huh?
It's so crazy that they associate being gay with saying no.
On the men.
I know.
That's kind of wild.
So
that's annoying.
I was like, man, not knowing
you're gay because you're gay.
Because you didn't want to do that. Okay, what did So I'm like, what? So I ended up entertaining the conversation because of feeling obligated in a sense. But then also she wasn't ugly, so I said, all right, cool. So got a number, and she was saying the same thing. This is why that she wanted to do this. And this is why I said earlier about how there are the perception of why some men think about big women in a sense of on the order thing, because some of them that's what they be offering first to get you to even look at them at sometimes. 2023, they might not be on that. Y'all feel more confident now. It's different. Like if you go back almost 20 years ago, their way of wanting to initiate something with a guy that they like is saying something sexual.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can generalize 3 people.
I'm talking about 20 years ago.
Even 20 years ago, because I had never in my life gone to a boy like, let me get in that thing. You know, it's never happened.
That's also you. But we asked.
That's what I'm saying. We can't generalize.
Right.
But you, because of those 3 people, you had a perception.
Well, my 3 people, and also my homeboys, their experience with bigger women, not those 3. It gets to a point where if he's going to do the same thing, there's a billion
people in the
world, he will do that same thing. It's like.
So you kind of take 2, and I get that, and I think we've evolved to less likely of generalizations of people, because if you travel, that's why I think travel is so important. People's perception about people is just so different.
I'm glad you said that.
The
first year I was there was in Arizona.
Okay.
It happened. I moved back to Nashville, 2,000 miles away. TSU, same thing happened. So it's like you said, you can travel. It's still travel out there, and it's travel here in Nashville. So it's like.
Growing up dealing with the extremities of shame is traumatic. And so I think some people at that size were willing to do whatever to have some sort of attention because we were so scrutinized and demeaned as a body. And, I think there are healthy plus size bodies. I think that, we deserve the astronomical value and we matter. And I think all bodies matter, which is why I created Curvy Confidence, because it's just like some people's bodies are just how they are. I have a set of DNA that has put me in this space. If I wanted to physically shift myself, I can, if I felt that is a necessity. But ultimately, we all deserve value in our bodies. We deserve to wear the fashion. We deserve to wear what we want to do. And just like smaller people or whoever, now we have smaller people that are feeling shame because everybody's buying an ass. Everybody's buying.
But that's a difference. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's be transparent.
Love that.
So buying ass and plus size are different things. So you said about healthy plus size. Now, this comes from a guy. I'm a workout freak. I'm
gonna see you out there working.
Always, I gotta stay in shape.
You think though? You ain't you plus size.
You're funny.
Yeah.
And you be funny. Look, I'm how funny she is.
Let me tell you,
the amount of comments I've had when I do them damn lunges.
I am the first black curvy model for American Eagle. You would be.
Shut up.
Period. I worked with them. I trailblazed the curvy gene. They never had a curvy gene in their life.
Yeah. And
I'm the first black curvy gene model for them and face.
Okay.
You would go in the category.
You're so funny. What she said is when I do them squats, like so the lunges, at the workout.
You deserve love too.
I'll be getting.
You matter. You are valuable.
You're funny.
And
So,
it's okay to be a little thick.
Like I said, because she's crazy.
It's okay.
She said, now,
We like a little thick.
you said about healthy. So, I dignify myself as health as well. And
love that. I align.
so, but you, so when it comes to weight, what is your take on that? Like, because I don't, even though, it's, I want to bring up the Bible again, but even the Bible speaks on that. If you want, or religion speaks of, gluttony is a sin, or being overweight is a sin.
Gluttony is a sin, yes.
Right.
That's the act of overeating. Or overdoing anything, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in overdoing anything. I think health is wealth. I believe in that as well. I say that to my curvy queens of cash flow. Anybody that takes my dance class.
Mm-hmm.
I
shout out to the dance class.
Yes, we have a dance class today actually on Freedom Friday because hallelujah, God's people should be free in their bodies and love their bodies. But ultimately, I believe that cardio is bae. Okay, you love your heart. You become in love with your heart when you do cardio, when you move your body. Activity keeps you healthy. Health is based off activity. Sedentary life does not lead to a life of longevity, and that doesn't mean, but however, there's a lot of women who are very strong, who are 14, 16, and further, who have capabilities. Okay. And your healthiness is not based off your weight. I think your healthiness is based off whether or not you have a disease. If there's disease is a disease. So if there's disease in your body, i.e. high blood pressure, diabetes, all these different things, therefore, there are some things that you need to put into play so that you can function at your best. I believe in being strong. If I'm going to go do this, I'm prepping for tour right now. So therefore, I have a trainer. I'm doing all these things. But your body is also just no matter how much working out I'm going to do, whatever it is, I'm not going to be small. But I'm going to be strong and I'm going to have endurance. And that doesn't mean I won't have cellulite. That doesn't mean I won't have a little jiggle. That doesn't mean that I'm going to have abs. But I'm still healthy. If I'm outrunning you, if I can run from a bear, then I'm healthy because I am strong. So curvy confidence is really built upon your strength. And the thing is, I don't want to huff and puff going upstairs. You know what I'm saying? If that's not your space, if that's okay, if you're okay with it, then that's your prerogative. But ultimately, that doesn't mean you get to be demeaned and made fun of, because that's your life right now. Because people are dealing with a lot of things we don't know about, and depression is a massive culprit of how people become obese in the first place. And obese is a disease that requires medicine, just like cancer or anything else. So we have to be sensitive, we have to be considerate, and we have to be compassionate about the root of why people are where they are. When you get to the 600 life world, they didn't start out like that. You know what I mean?
They did.
And someone is enabling them to be like that.
The fetish come back in. Like some of those men that's even with that.
Some people have a fetish.
Yeah, that's big.
But they don't.
Or they ain't outside of the fetish. They knowing that some of the people are getting a check too.
They are, but I think also
stick around for that.
It's their prerogative though. Like we don't get to tell them what to do with their life. If they decide they are okay with their 500 pounds up, that doesn't mean they don't get high fashion. You should be able to look cute no matter what size you are. The fashion.
If you're 500 pounds, you're neglecting it. You're not caring about yourself, because you already know that's first off. Our
but it's a journey.
No,
maybe she's made a decision to just because.
Physical body is not supposed to uphold 500.
But if you have a disease, people are not supposed to have cancer, but they get it.
Correct. But that's why.
And obesity is a disease.
Right.
So she has a disease that she is fighting. That she hasn't been able to figure out how to fight.
That was supposed to have a fight and stride at 200.
Not if her environment does not support that fight. That's why we have communities to advocate for our change. So people that have obesity do not have a community to advocate for their change until the show comes into play.
Yeah.
But some people, i.e. my grandmother or whoever else came before me, get settled in their ways, and they do not have advocation or resources or tools to pull themselves out of their disease. So we cannot fault them for that. But that doesn't mean they don't get to wear good clothes. I don't agree with that.
I got to disagree on that. I'm not. You 500, 600 pounds. The last
You're
thing you worry
human.
about is your clothes. You need to
No,
be
you're
worried about
human.
your heart, not 600 pounds.
You're
no. You
human.
do not need to worry about wearing nothing sexy.
I was gonna say, I just see food in that community, like it's the obesity community. I just see food being
Comfort.
a solution
Yes.
to a problem. If
Yes.
something's going on in the inside, whether it's a trauma something they've been through when they were
Yes.
It
young,
is.
maybe somebody died or something. They
Mhm.
use food as that
That
medium
comfort,
to like
yeah.
this is
Just like alcohol, it's an
yeah,
addiction.
but they just chose food, and like you said, not having that proper community, and you probably get other people around you who do the same thing, or support it, or they might
Right.
be
Yeah.
making it worse for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Their environment, like you're gonna
But
keep
then-
doing the thing that you chose.
But then it's gonna
Especially if
like,
you chose it
But
young.
don't
But even-
scrutinize
but-
them and
but
demean
even-
them.
even-
They didn't put themselves in that position.
but even like in the book said, ignorance to the word is no excuse. Even if you are that, you still have resources. We're not living in 1930. You know that the benefits of what's not good to be doing it. You see yourself in the mirror.
Some
So at
people
some
don't have
point-
will, Rob.
That's on them.
You gotta
We
pray.
all have free will.
I mean, some people don't have it. I mean,
No,
if
we
I
have
didn't
it.
have the resource and tool of, there was something that sparked in me to choose to find a source of therapy.
Mhm.
You know, but if I didn't, I don't know why it happened. I don't know why, but some people don't have that outlet. You know,
They're not thinking that in a sense.
Yeah,
they're not thinking that this is something that I
They
can
give
get
up.
help.
Some
Yeah,
people
they-
give up.
Yeah, but I mean, some people are thinking like this is something I can get help on. Like, nah, it's just this is what I do. This is what I
yeah,
do.
they get real
I mean,
comfortable.
yeah, like
Just like a marriage. Some people get comfortable in their marriage and the abuse that takes place. People look at people that are dealing with domestic abuse, you're like, oh my God, how can you keep doing this? If their worth is so non-existent,
Yes. Yeah, that's
They
true.
can't-
they can't
feel
get out
like,
of it.
I feel like a lot of it is just tying into like what's going on in your inner world, man.
That's
Mhm.
why you have to have a relationship with God.
Yeah, I agree.
And that might sound so whatever, but that's your relationship with God is not going to allow you to be the 500 or 600 pounds because you have a relationship. You're talking to Him.
no.
You're confiding into Him. Even your relationship, if you be diligent and
What's the point of
and
messengers if we're not supposed to deliver? Why are
faith
people
without
going?
work is nothing.
No, but you have to be. It's all about resources and tools. There are certain people in the community that do not have the resources and the tools to get support and help in a certain
And
area.
this is why I say, and I have to say this, but there is. We have your cell phone right there. It has everything. We're not living in that time no more. You have assets.
You're
We
looking
just
at your
choose-
privileged life.
I just,
Everybody got cell phone. Even
I
though
just
people on this
think
show.
that a lot of people don't think they have a problem, and I think that's the. I'm not gonna say that is the issue, but a lot of people who are in that world, like they just don't think there's an issue.
Well, if you 600 pounds, you don't feel like an issue, then you're delusional. That's just,
I think you get
you
comfortable.
see yourself.
It's
in
just
the
like
mirror
when
at
we
some
talk about
point.
our grandmothers. There's a certain time in your life where you just want what you want. You don't have to. You don't think anybody really cares about you. You get depressed. Depression is deep. It's a brain thing. I don't know if something that you've ever battled with, but there is a psyche that is hard to grab hold and shift your mindset about yourself. So if you think that you are worthless and you don't matter and you do not, no one cares for you,
Yeah.
you're gonna continue the cycles and just get to a point until you die.
Right.
And then that's why there are nonprofits. That's why there are sources of help that go into the community to say, hey, we have a cycle of happenings in our community and how they're curating their lifestyle, and we want to help them get out of it. If I didn't have SAC, I wouldn't be here. I had a very clear mindset that I was ready to be out. I didn't want to be here, but however, there was a tool and the resource, and they presented themselves in a certain way, and they said, you know what, Saaneah, we're going to help you. And I was granted help through therapy. And therapy, everybody does not get that walk of life. And so we have to think outside of our own lives to be like, well, they have a different set of cards. And some people need messengers to help them get out of their way.
On that saying right there, I'm putting the key to you since you're a songwriter.
Yes.
We need that song.
We need a song.
We need that specifically for ones who need that extra push. Point blank.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We putting the task on you now, the songwriter.
I'm gonna say, I want to ask you this. So, just can you talk a little bit about just your journey into this self-awareness that you have now? Because Was this something that was always there, or is this you had to maybe you went through a set of experiences where I really need to start looking at myself, maybe start looking at the outside world. That's like now I got to tap in myself and change my whole entire mindset in the way my outlook or perspective on life. So I would love to hear that journey into that self awareness that you have now because it's close. You can tell how close you are with self.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true. I love that you can see that.
Yeah.
I think, I just didn't want to hate myself anymore. And I think I grew up in a world where people told me how I needed to be and how I needed to look and who I needed to love so much that it hurt me so bad that I wanted to die. And then I didn't want to die no more. So then I had to figure out, well, what do I want? How do I want to impact the world? Everyone is not going to be satisfied with who I am and what I do and how I do it. But where can I find a community that does? I grew up in a lot of abusive practices that people didn't know were abuse, and it was just made normal. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole spare the child, the whole there's nothing good about violence. You know what I'm saying? I don't. It's bizarre to me that people say you need violence. And I'm like, no, I don't. Actually, I could just have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? You can allow me the space to express my feelings so that I'm not thinking that I'm dismembered from my own body. It's I'm not trying to walk in a world as a zombie to just be safe. And that's when you allow anything to happen to yourself. And so I just didn't want that anymore. And at some point you become rebellious in your teenagers side because your parents were groomed into a world where it's just very so it's just it's power.
Yeah.
Everything is power. Yeah. I rule you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's you had me, but you don't rule me. I have my own set of thoughts that you helped instill. There's certain parts of those thoughts that I am so grateful for because my parents were very intellectual. They were teachers and understood the importance of knowing our African self and knowing the roots of our history before we were forced into America. And so I know my ancient ancestry. I know, the practices before we were enslaved. And that helped me to kind of develop the understanding of who I am and why I feel magic, why I feel like I'm excellence. And, a lot of times I was scrutinized from being proud of myself. And so I just think I didn't want to hate me. Yeah. And I was just trying to figure out how not to. Yeah. And I was determined to figure out how not to hate myself. And certain experiences that I had over time throughout my adult life, throughout my teenage life, my very inconsistent childhood, dealing with emotional abuse, dealing with physical abuse, I learned that I am not what happens to me. And once I decided that, and that a lot of the things that my brain does and creates a belief system about my worth and myself is just a reaction to protecting myself. Because we conform to who we need to be so we can be safe. And so it's just I didn't want to do that anymore. I felt like I needed to do the work to create sanity and peace inside my soul. A lot of times I'll be telling people you need to get some peace inside your soul, because if you can sit there and just really just be violent and just hateful to people there's a missing item, there's a missing piece in your soul that you have not unpacked that you need to so that you can be good to people. Right. I don't think people are born to be harmful to people, but I think they learn it. And I realized that part of my mission that God gave me was to break those chains, and be a source of creating peace and love despite our differences. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't believe that somebody should be transgender doesn't mean you have to kill them. Mm-hmm. Just because you believe somebody should not be with a woman and another woman and they should have children doesn't mean that you have to treat them unkind. You'd be like, I don't really mess with this, but I love you because brought into this earth, and God brought you here for a reason. So hallelujah.
I'm glad you did that. I was going to ask earlier, but I said, I don't want to say what about the whole, because right now, the whole training thing. It's funny you say that, but they coming for y'all right now. But
I think that, again, evolution is inevitable. And what the universe, which is God's universe, is going to do is push for love and push for peace. So, again,
I mean, just hilarious. She tried to hold it down now. Have you seen the whole look? Did you see
what
it?
happened?
Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all know what I'm talking about again?
What?
So, there was a transsexual woman said that y'all biological women don't own periods, and y'all can't just be saying y'all gonna look and have that. We are women too. Just because y'all got that don't mean nothing. All that come for y'all. So just hilarious was like, hold on now, wait a minute. I got love for the community, but don't come for us natural bornness to try to say we're less than because we y'all something. I was probably didn't hear about it, but it was.
I heard something happen, but I be staying out the mess trial.
That was.
I be on my Zen.
She said Zen. But yeah, that was
living my bubble.
Yeah, that was wild when that happened. But
yeah, I think a lot of that is just people not feeling safe, and so they thrash out things to make them feel like they matter. I mean, and I think in particular, I don't know the scenario, but I think she's just she wants to be seen. This particular transgender person wants to be seen, and so sometimes creating havoc in that space versus just having a centered conversation is how people learn how to feel like they matter. Some people need to fight, or they need to battle, they need to create war, and it's like, no, we could. A lot of things are about miscommunication. And we haven't been taught, we're taught science, we're taught English, we're taught all these things, but we are not taught healthy communication. We're not taught how to properly communicate when we're having sexual activity. We're just like, well, and all these things, it has to deal with communication. If we learn how to really communicate and have hard conversations, a lot of the things that are happening that are detrimental can be eliminated because we're having a conversation about it. It's no longer a stigma. We need to be talking about porn. We need to talk about safety. We need to be talking about these folks that are putting things in drinks. There's
that movie, Cloning Tyrone. You seen that?
I haven't seen it yet.
Really
I'm excited.
I won't tell you about that. I forgot to tell you that. That movie was.
That's my goal, to get a placement in some movies. Honestly,
we got your homework for you. I want you to.
But Robert,
right.
What are you doing? So, what makes you do the podcast in the first place? What is your passion? And I've asked you this before, but he gives these very vague, or beat around the bush questions because I don't even know what you do. What do you do? How you eating?
I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna wrap this up.
How you eating?
So, my views, as you seen earlier, when we were talking about when it comes to the Bible and all other things. You have to understand, this is coming from a place because I've been in rooms y'all ain't been in. I done seen some things that that has I don't say it has swayed me, but it has opened my eyes up to what's really going on and what we need to start getting our stuff together as people because something is coming. And what I mean by that is on the celebrity side, when you see me with these celebrities, okay, I'm not just at the in the hallway with you. I'm in the green room back before the show starts, and I'm learning. I'm seeing things. I'm hearing what's going on. And to be honest with you, and I'm gonna say this on camera, a lot of stuff is demonic. Mm-hmm. If you really want to dig deeper to what they're doing or what's pushing it. So I'm coming from a way in a form of faith because I'm like, man, we're going down the wrong path here. So that's why if I came off a little earlier, sound a little real Bible talky, it's because of what I've seen and what I'm spiritual, but I'm faith-based. And also, so I got the experience of being around celebrities and seeing what they're going through. And y'all think they're happy, not. They're in turmoil. They have to do things they don't want to do just for that dollar, in a sense. Yeah. Then also, in my own life, in the past, dealing with women, and I went across witches before. That's just real. I went across other stuff. It's all these demonic forces among us, and we're just, as black folks, are just being, love is love, not seeing what's really, we got to bunker down on what's our core and what we're supposed to be doing and what the gospel has told us what we need to be doing, not doing what we want to do because we feel like it's cool. So to answer your question, I've just seen too much, and I'm trying to have this platform to let y'all to inform people, let them people speak on their experience, and go from there. But I'm still gonna always instill what I have seen and what I think is coming. Don't mean I know everything, but I feel like I got a vision, man. That I don't know. I take the book of Revelation very serious, and Genesis too, because Genesis is actually like a prelude to Revelation. If you don't know, but and a book of Enoch. And even though it's not in the book Bible, but man, y'all, if y'all was really to just tap in to your spirituality in the book and read it, the things that we're seeing right now, this stuff is nothing new under the sun. It was happened before, and God destroyed the world or the things because of it. We think it's brand new. We think it's we just free and all that. This stuff had been gone before, and the earth was punished for it because it wasn't what He said do. So when I come off so strong, it's like, oh man, he trying to be Bible talking, he preachy. It ain't that. It's just I have these visions. I've had dreams of things that's coming, and then again being in these rooms. Like I'm cool with billionaires. Y'all don't even know how they even think. If y'all knew how they thought about us and how they're manipulating things, just why that movie Conan Tyrone was so heavy. I'm like, wow, that's some stuff I didn't seen this. That's I want you to see that. It's homework for you.
Okay.
Man, I'm like, this is wild. So that's why I'm like, so when I hear people say their testimony, I get it, but I'm big on I want to make it to heaven one day, and what we're doing what we want to do ain't gonna cut it, because we doing what we want to do other than what He said to do, and that's just why I leave it at that. You know what I mean? But I do want, and I'm not perfect at all. I sin every day, but I'm not parading my sin. I know I'm wrong. That's why I repent and I rebuke it. I'm not gonna just do something just because it makes me feel good. Point blank.
You know, I know we could probably talk all day around the spiritual world and religion and all that.
Right.
But I just want to say that just coming off your last point, like you say how you want to make it to heaven. Heaven is here, like right now, like in this plane right here. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of the time we focus so much on trying to get to a destination we think is up in the sky. While actuality is right here, right in front of us, our experience right now.
Actually, Candace, I love it. I think it's opposite. I think we in hell trying to get to heaven. I think we're living in hell because of the things. Yes, because of the things that we're seeing. Like we're seeing death, we're seeing turmoil, we're seeing homelessness, we're living.
But that's not all we see.
But in heaven, you're not gonna see that at all. We're in that. We're seeing abuse. We're seeing drug abuse. We're seeing physical abuse. We're seeing rape. We're seeing homeless. We're seeing.
But it's
dead.
just like if our goal and mission is to bring heaven here down to
heaven on earth,
then it's just like
because that's how you gotta know the difference between there's a spiritual realm and a physical realm. We're in the physical realm.
But we can also be spiritual.
But we can also be in the spiritual realm as well. You know what I'm saying?
Our spiritual realm is our relationship with God, talking to Him. But the physical realm is what we in. That's why the spiritual realm is
But we're also in the spiritual realm too, because you're saying it's just like you see all this demonic stuff. That's the spiritual realm. You see all this heavenly godly stuff. That's the spiritual realm. It's just here now. But literally us, manifestation. We can say that all day long. Like God is the most powerful manifester out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like literally, I like to see it as this is that, if we are made in God's image, right? We are manifestors in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we have godlike abilities. So it's just like if that was His mission to create, essentially heaven here, then it's just like I believe heaven is here. I think it's a point of view of perspective. I do understand all these killings, all this stuff going on in the world, but initially, that is what God created. It's for heaven to be here and to experience it here and now, today.
I just have to disagree. I don't think heaven is a place.
So when you
we're
experience that pleasure, when you tap into your sin, is that heaven or hell?
If I'm not married, then it's hell.
You're experiencing hell when you.
Yeah, because I generally, I say this on camera 2023. The times I've had sex, I repent and rebuke it because I know I ain't supposed to be doing it. I don't have no ring on my face.
So why do you do it?
I'm not fighting that my flesh.
You're not
giving in to my flesh. like which is not supposed to do. Like only time I'm supposed to be on the sexual part, since you brought that up, I'm supposed to have sex with my wife. I'm not married, so anything outside of that, I'm sinning.
So is marriage only according to the government signing a paper?
No, that is a what's the word for it? That is a oath that I'm giving to God, because He said that's what He put on earth. He wants you to be in holy matrimony. That's the whole point. Like we're put on this earth to be with each other. That's why God made it. That's why we have these sexual organs to appropriate, to populate through marriage. So if I'm having sex without that marriage covering, I'm sinning. I'm going against what He said. And granted, you can still create life in it. He's going to bless the life. He's still mad at the sin though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm me having sex not without a ring on my finger. I'm giving this to my flesh, point blank. Because he already said what, this ain't had to do with the Bible. This is what He said. He said this is I want you to do in marriage. That's your whole point. Anything outside of that is adultery.
So do you feel like your sin is different from anyone else's? Because the love is love sin. It's love sin everywhere.
Sins, so. God hates all sins. Period.
Okay. But you should still love them though, right?
He said love the person, not to hate the sin.
Hallelujah.
So
as long that's what I'm
but
saying.
Y'all have to understand.
That's what I'm saying.
You love the person, but you hate the sin. But what the world we're in right now.
You should hate anything.
Yeah, you're supposed to hate the sin. That's what that's I don't understand how you don't.
Love is patient and kind. I don't know how hate.
The person. The sin is what gets you farther away from
God. God is love though, right?
God is love.
Yes.
On the person, but He said He hates sin. He even says that.
I know, but if God is love and we're trying to be messengers of God, we want to embody the image of God, and God is love. Mm-hmm. God gave us a very clear, point.
Yeah, He's very clear about what He said.
That means it's patient and kind. So I feel that with all the mess, the government, their opinions, whatever,
you
should always
the punishment for sin is what? What did He say?
What going on?
Death. That's why I want people to read.
Are you gonna die? You've had a lot of sin. Are you gonna die?
We all have that. If I don't get it right with Him, see, He heard us. He heard us. He heard us.
But I don't know. Do you listen to Saaneah?
Love her.
Do you listen to?
I'm on Saaneah. Here's my thing about that.
Oh boy, here we go.
So wait a minute. Wait a second. Because I would say that is my favorite artist. But she was my favorite artist. But I guess the reason why I said it is because I just feel like there's a message with her music, and it's very positive, it's very peaceful.
Very.
And it connects to the chakras too.
It connects to the soul. So, like I said, what
would you say? You don't touch crystals?
Now chakras and stuff.
That's witchcraft.
Oh my gosh!
So,
it's crystals. Why are they getting a diamond ring, Robert? It's diamonds or crystals. You ain't supposed to touch it.
That's witchcraft.
Oh, semantics.
I'm gonna say something. Saaneah.
Mm-hmm.
I like her music. Mm-hmm. I like that song she got where she's I can't think of the name right now, but she was talking freaky stuff in that. But because I'm a freaky R&B guy. But
that's
Saaneah
okay.
Is a witch though. She is. Erykah Badu is. All them are.
What's wrong with the witch?
Oh wow.
What are they doing?
See what I'm saying? Oh,
what's wrong? Are they good witches or the bad witches?
No such thing as a good witch. It's no such thing as a good witch.
What? We grew up with good witches.
No, you grew up watching TV, Hollywood showing you good witches. Sabrina, all that stuff. That's no.
You had you had a witch destroy your life, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I had a witch in my life. I see do some shit that had me scared. Like, okay, these type of women out here like that, which I didn't know. And God says, don't reach outside source to seek me. So when you involved in witchcraft and all that stuff, you're seeking outside source other than trusting in Him.
The whole Bible is witchcraft.
No, it's not.
You drinking the blood of a man. No, that's the most witchy you can get.
They didn't drink his blood. They drunk. He did definitions of what this was. He said the wine is going to be representing my blood. The bread is going to be representing. No, they was drinking it.
The Old Testament.
No, they didn't drink his blood. The wine was representing his blood. The bread was representing his skin, his flesh. That was no.
So now, it's like we're eating human flesh, even though it's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor of what he was saying. Like this is, it's like a covering. You know what I mean? But the witchcraft, they're actually doing the actual blood, the actual flesh, the actual chicken bone. That's not the same thing. Like, that's why we do communion in church. It wasn't. They didn't literally drink his blood at the.
So you're saying
at the last.
Even
dinner.
though the symbolism is witchcraft, it's not the same as actual witchcraft. Even though in the Bible they're symbolically curating a ritual. This is a ritual practice.
There's also a story in the Bible of when one of the I won't say his disciple. I forgot what he was, but he ended up having an encounter with a witch. You ever heard of the story of Paul and Saul?
Yes.
Paul became Saul.
That was a good show.
Oh, she said show, right? But Paul became Saul, but he ended up running across when Paul was trying to find another person who had these kind of out of God powers. He found a woman. He had one of his people go find a woman in the village who was doing witchcraft, so he can bring his homie back to life. Okay. When she did that, when she brought the stuff back to life, it didn't just bring him back. It brought other spirits up out the ground.
Okay.
He got punished for that. But that wasn't even who he was. I'm gonna find it. What I'm gonna send it to you, because I'm saying it. I'm giving bits and pieces out. But what I just said isn't about between the Paul and Saul.
But Jesus came back to life. So what's the difference between someone? Jesus also healed miraculously a lot of people. So if we're made in God's image,
Jesus
are we not? Do we not have the ability to heal people and bring them back to life?
First off, he's the only person that's been conceived the way he's conceived. Are you really compare us regulars to God, to Jesus? He was conceived spiritually through God. What do I say?
So Jesus the Holy is the Spirit only person that can heal us. Huh? We don't have the ability to have the power.
Spiritual healers, yeah.
The power. The presence of the Lord is here. Mm-hmm. The power is not within. I feel like when we talk about the presence of the Lord is here, or the presence of the Lord is in us, then we are.
Then you can.
We have the. Yeah.
Yes, but if you don't have that presence in you,
so
if
you're saying that
it's not in you.
That particular person, that woman, didn't have the presence of the Lord.
No, she had witchcraft. She didn't have the presence of the Lord. The song went on for her. She was literally practicing witchcraft. That's why. That's
what they said.
He sent out one of his guys to go find. I'm fine for it too. He wanted to go find one of his guys. He said, "Find me someone who is in likeness of this person who they already had killed with a witch." They found her, and she was practicing that. She had all this stuff.
They also tried to kill Jesus because the
Romans tried to kill him because of it has nothing. That's because of Jesus was changing the power structure of their religion. They was all pagans / believing in idols. He's coming in there showing, look, y'all don't need to believe in no idols. I am my father's the real thing. Messiah's the real thing. Mm-hmm. You'll need to be worshiping this golden calf. I'm showing you who you need to be. The powers that be didn't like that, so that's why they killed them. If you want to be real, it ain't about no other thing about that. They wanted to stay in this pagan system / worship man, idolism, and he was showing no, it's a higher power than that. They didn't want that because now you messing up their money. You messing up.
Was Jesus a man?
Yes.
But they didn't want
the Son of God.
But they want. I'm trying to get at what you're saying. So Jesus is a man, but they were saying they didn't want the pagans to worship the men they were serving. They were idols. But he wasn't. But Jesus is not.
They were worshiping physical, like a golden calf. That's the idol. Like that's why the Bible will tell us we're not supposed to be worshiping idols. Even a celebrity is an idol. You know what I'm saying? But they was trying to have you really believing in this goat right here is going to be in this prey arch, whatever it is, was what you need to believe in. But you said, why did you ask about it? Was God? Was he?
Well, because you said that God didn't. Well, you were saying that worshiping an idol is worshiping a man, and I'm just like, well, Jesus.
No, it don't have to be a man. It could be even an idol. This could be
an animal that God created as someone that.
No, when I say golden calf, like something made out of gold, shaped into a calf, like a figure, like this. You can worship this as an idol. Mm-hmm. Or a person, you worship like the way women worship Beyonce. That is idolism. That is idolatry.
Mm. Do you think they worship Beyonce, or
yes.
Are they just?
That's Beehive is a real thing.
Or if it's like a admiration for the type of.
We've seen people who say anything about her on social media, and you see the Beehive swarm. That is a sense of that is
the
it.
same thing for Michael Jackson. Who was your favorite artist?
People don't do it for Mike like that. We love Mike.
Did you see the tour that Mike went on? Like, this is Mike. First of all, can we talk about? Okay,
But I love you said this because now it's between Michael Jackson's fan base and be honest with you, I'm not to make excuses, but Michael's whole spectrum, he was trying to show us something. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, we really watched the documentaries and you find out. First off,
what about Sunshine?
You know what I'm saying? Man in the Mirror. Like, when I didn't even know he was exiled to Russia. Did y'all know that back in the day?
Mm-mm.
The United States was trying to get him because of, first off, the difference between him and Beyonce. Michael had too much power for the power to be. You understand? First off, he owned the Beatles catalog.
Yeah.
He owned Elvis catalog.
Okay.
Sony was on his ass about that
Mm-hmm.
and was mad that he wouldn't give it up. Same thing with Bill Cosby and Prince, but we'll talk about that. So,
love Prince.
Right.
This is why I wear my purple.
But same thing, that's why Prince had it on his own masters too. And he owned somebody else, I forgot. They wanted that. Same thing with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby owned his house where his property is at in Philly. Exxon wanted that because it goes right through a gas pipeline. He wouldn't give it up. So they tried to bankrupt him by putting him in jail, by bringing up shit that happened in the 70s to bankrupt him. That's why he said, no, I'm not giving it up. It's deeper than what the surface shit the CNN and on TV show us, I'm telling you. But Michael, they try to defame him by talking about the kids and stuff to make his character look bad. But when in hindsight, they were just mad about how much power he had.
Exactly.
And think about that. Outside of, and I'm crazy I'm saying this, but outside of, who's the most known person outside of Jesus? Michael. I challenge anybody. I challenge anybody to check that. You can't even say Martin Luther King. It's really, the whole world know who Michael is.
Probably.
No, I think that's true.
It's crazy. That's
factual,
it's just a matter of how much power that is as a person.
I mean, Virgo's Virgo.
Oh, man.
When you're born on August 29th and you care about the earth and you care about people and you care about children, I feel like that exemplifies a leader who wants the best for God's people. And I feel like through his music, Michael is someone who went through an insurmountable amount of hardship and abuse in his career as a legend. And
did he have more abuse through his father or through the sister?
I think it's both.
Okay.
I think his father gruesomely groomed him, and I think that the industry tore him apart just because of how much, like you said, global impact he had on people to change. Let that change.
One thing that's,
you know what I mean? Like that was
only thing I'm torn on, because I want to agree with you, but in my whole life I actually did agree with you on this point until I got older and had a son. But we've been villainizing Joe for a long time, and I don't know how I feel about that because of what he created. He created, I don't know. We wasn't there.
He created it the wrong way.
I don't know.
My
He
mom,
got because Janet.
My mom kept me up all night singing all day, and would yell and scream at me sometimes to get this note right. But that don't mean it was right. The way she went about it. I may be able to sing immaculately and sing any note and not be terrible, but we have to also honor that there are other ways to encourage and empower.
There's other ways.
Empower me.
But then that's the same way I don't need to be mad at my youth football coach for yelling at the same thing. But that put everything he did for me, I would have made sense. Same thing with my dad. Yeah, that's all right. You asked earlier about how I eat. So if he would never push me, including my dad. So it's like
we appreciate our traumas, but we also don't want to.
I don't know if it's trauma. I don't know if that was. I don't know my dad being on my ass about sports and the books, the classroom books, and my coaches being on me. Was that trauma? Or that was them teaching? That was. You said you want to be a football player. Well, I'm gonna get you there.
Yeah, a push is one thing, but if you're devouring someone without being able to express themselves, I think that's when trauma starts.
Yeah, I mean, I was out to have a voice. What I'm saying,
that's what I'm saying.
But they
that's
still was on my butt.
Michael didn't have a voice. Why do you think he talked like this?
Michael didn't have a voice.
So we want to create a new world, a better world where people have voices
I do wonder
and
why
can still
the other brothers
build their skill.
That's true. I think his religion did it too. Him being Jehovah's Witness, they look different. That was a little thing too. That was big reason why they were so strict. But I still want to this day why the other siblings don't say nothing. That's crazy. Was he the only one getting? Because Janet became great too.
None of my siblings got anything but I got. They always get better with the ones after you.
Right. But he got the one. Yeah, he was down in the baby dancer.
Yeah.
They was before him.
They always get better than the ones
like
after
Jermaine,
you.
I don't know. They older.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know about that. But
or maybe some people I feel like choose to be silent, and some people finally get fed up and decide to say, "Look, this is my story. You can believe it or not. People can believe my story or not. But my truth is my truth. And I'm not going to let your opinion of not believing me change that so that I'm now in disbelief of myself and what I went through. Like that's not right. It's not fair, and it's harmful to me being able to live in well-being because I am at odds with myself. You know, people in power. I think about people who are kidnapped. You know, and the Stockholm syndrome that takes place, you know, because they make someone, the way the manipulation and coercion happens, they make someone believe that they're supposed to be there, just like slavery. They made us believe like this is who we are, and we're not supposed to read, and we're not supposed to do all these things.
I'm so glad you said that.
And then it's like when we believed it, and then it wasn't until someone was like, they're going to rebel against this. We're tired of we're going to risk our lives to be who we are and have autonomy. That's when things change.
And I'm gonna say this out here because I want you know. Hold on. Look, I'm glad you came on. I appreciate it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Big time.
Yes, let's talk about all the things that I have coming up.
Most definitely. Please let the people know about what you got coming on, your social media handles, everything.
Yes. So again, my name is Saaneah. That's spelled Saaneah, and I'm on all social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. And you know, I'm here to spread the knowledge of peace and love through my song, through my gift, through my voice, and through my business, Creative Confidence. I want people to love their bodies as they are, as they go through the journey of self-love and eliminate self-hate. That's very important. And learning and building a safe space to live a confident and free life. I just launched my website, curvyconfidence.org. I'm really excited. I literally launched it today.
I love it.
My Body, My Say. I have some t-shirts available. My Body, My Say. And I also have Curvy and Confident t-shirts available. And there's more to come. I do classes every second Friday and fourth Friday. We do heels classes, tapping into your sensual freedom, as well as twerk therapy. We learn how to jiggle our bodies in safety with a therapeutic approach. I believe in therapy. I'm extremely an advocate for therapy, and it really heals the mind to help you believe better about yourself. And really just heal whatever you've been through that you never maybe told anybody. You have a safe space to tell your truth, and they're going to honor you. So find your therapist. New music. I just dropped Collide in Me. It's available on my Bandcamp. And I'm about to drop my second EP, At Your Service. And I'm so excited about that because it's a level up version of Saaneah. It's me really being my full self with no reservations. And being authentic, you know what I'm saying? I've never been a person to subscribe to like, I need to be signed or I need to be a label or I want, you know, I like authentic alignment. And I like spirits of goodness, spirits with good character. My dad always told me like good character is everything. And so anybody wants to collaborate and connect with me and make some good music that's long lasting. Like the Luthers and the Ella Fitzgeralds and the Billie Holidays and the Aretha Franklins, you know, tap in. I'm doing a big show August 29th. So just visit my website at Saaneah.com to check out all of my upcoming shows. August 8th, I am doing a Tina Turner tribute at 3rd and Lindsley.
3rd and Lindsley.
Yeah, so
Tina Turner in the flesh.
Yeah, Tina Turner, you know, she grew up in Nutbush, Tennessee. And it's crazy, like this time last year, I was an executive director for a museum.
Wow.
Jefferson Street Sounds Museum, and I decided to just take the entrepreneurial route and do my own thing. So now I'm talking to Robert Savage.
Black Woman Magic.
You know what I'm saying? I like that.
Yeah.
Black Woman Magic. And I really honor you and just creating a place to just, you know, have real conversation and just dive into thought. It's never a battle, but it's just like a perspective.
Always.
Of seeing one another and how we grew up, north.
North. Hey.
And Cashville's got us,
Yeah.
And you said you're gonna listen again to While You Wait. That's what I got. Right. That's my first EP I dropped 2016. It's still a loving, healing experience. If you don't have the words to say to your person, I got them for you.
There you go. Y'all get it, man. Y'all stay tuned.
Peace.